Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off lying down. Bring one hand to rest on your heart and the other hand to rest on your belly. Knock your knees together, bring your feet a bit wider, and take a few moments to come into your breath. With every inhale, feel the space between your ribs and the space in your belly expand. And every exhale, allow yourself to sink a little deeper into your mat. Slowly release your hands. Bring your feet so they're about hips-width distance apart. Start to push your hips up into a bridge pose. And then lower your hips down. We're going to take a few sets of bridge pose here, just going up and down. And this is meant to just be a nice way to open through the front of your hips. So we will start to find some activation through the backs of your legs and into your glutes, but ultimately we want to find more opening into the front of your body. Now on your next bridge, hold it up high and then reach your arms up overhead. So you're getting really nice and long, maybe feeling a bit more opening in the front of your body. Push down into your feet. I know we start to feel a little more activation there. Keep your knees so they're tracking right over your toes. Take a few more big belly breaths here. Full big breath in, full big breath out. Notice if you're rolling to the pinky toe edges of your feet, try to bring more awareness to your big toe. And slowly roll your hips down. Pull your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg long, and then pause and breathe here. And again, this is just a nice way to open through your front left hip flexor. And then go ahead and swap, extend your right leg, and pull your left knee into your chest. So you'll feel a bit of compression at the top of your left hip, but also hopefully a nice opening through the front of your right hip. Breathe into that space and that opening. And now pull your right knee into your chest and rock and roll yourself up. We're coming into a child's pose position. So swing your legs around, bring your big toes together, send your hips back to your heels and stretch your fingertips long in front of you. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Take a nice big breath in and take a full big breath out. And find a few more just like this. Nice big breath in. And then keep your hands where they are. Roll yourself forward, lift your shins up off the ground, and reach your heart space up towards the ceiling. And then slowly push your hips back to a tuck-toed child's pose. So we're going to move between these two postures about 5 or so times. A few things happening here. You're finding some nice undulation into your spine, maybe even increasing that range of motion. And additionally, you're finding some nice openness into the front of your body, particularly into your hip flexors, and then also maybe into your heart space and throat space. Find a few more of these. Let this movement be really ooey gooey. It doesn't have to look like anything. Just let it feel really, really loose. And take one more and hold in your back bend position for just a few extra moments. Maybe shift your shoulders from side to side, allow your head to drop back, and then slowly push yourself back to standing on your knees. And then step your left foot so it comes in front of you. You're coming into a 90-90 lunge position. Bring your hands to rest on your left thigh. Start to contract your chin to your chest and think of rounding your pelvis forward. You can bring your right hand to your lower back or maybe even your left hand to your belly just to allow your pelvis to tuck under a little bit deeper. You consistently think of pushing the hips forward and finding that nice opening into the front of your right hip flexor. And continue to breathe here. And with your hands on your front thigh, really push down into your left thigh to find a lot more tuck under through your pelvis. And then slowly release, bring your hands down to the ground. Lengthen your stance just a little bit by bringing your right foot a little further back behind you. Keep your back knee down on the mat. And continue with that feeling of your hips pressing forwards and down, but now try to drop your head as much as you can. So you're really kind of released into the upper torso, but your hips are consistently pushing forward. So you can feel that nice opening into the front of your right hip flexor. Take a nice big breath in and take a full big breath out. And then bring yourself back to your kneeling position. We'll set this up on the opposite side. Step your right foot in front so you're standing up, 90-90 lunge position. You can bring your hands first to your belly and to your pelvis, so you're really feeling that tactile adjustment of tucking your pelvis under, and then bring your hands to rest on your front right thigh. Push your hands into your front right thigh as you tuck under through your pelvis. Pull your belly button back to your spine and continue to push your hips forward. Take a nice big breath in and take a full big breath out. And we'll stay here for a little bit longer, just feeling that nice opening into the front of your left hip flexor. And then slowly bring your hands down to frame your right foot. Step your left foot a little further back behind you. And then let your head drop down. So your hands can be inside of your right foot, or you can have your hands framing your right foot, whatever feels more accessible. But I want you to feel more than anything that your torso is really releasing down while your hips consistently push forward. So you're feeling this nice opening into the left hip flexor. Breathe into that space, nice big breath in, and full big breath out. And then slowly bring yourself back. Come all the way down to lie on your belly, all the way down to the mat. Once you're on your belly, bend your knees so your heels come towards your glutes. Catch hold of your feet or your ankles, the pinky toe edge, and then pull your heels to your glutes so much that your knees lift up off the ground. And as you do that, think of pushing your hip bones, your front hip bones into the ground. And then go ahead and release. And we'll take this about 5 or 6 times. So I want you to find that activation of lifting your knees just slightly off the mat as you push your hips down, and then let it go and release. So what we're trying to do here is find some length again into the front of your body. This is going to target a bit more into your quads, but also your hip flexors, as we've already been targeting. It's not a huge movement, but it is really specific. Take one more. Release your feet and walk your feet up towards your hands. So you're in a forward fold. Soften through your knees and slowly, slowly roll yourself to stand. Once you arrive in your standing position, reach your arms up overhead, take a nice big breath in, and take a mini back bend. Push your hips slightly forward, crack open through your heart space. Breathe in, and then exhale, come back to neutral standing position. From your standing position, start to sweep your arms open, and then exhale, find a little contraction, bring your arms down and through. Do this one more time, just with the arms. We're gonna start to add in your legs. So step back with your right foot, take yourself into a big lunge, reach your arms up and open, and then step your right foot back forward, and then switch. Left foot goes back, and arms come in, and just continue to move, switching, alternating legs from side to side. Every inhale, really allow your body to lean back, open through your arms, open through your chest. And then on your exhale, collect all of that energy back into your heart space. So this is a great exercise to find balance, but also a really nice exercise to open up through the front of your body. And continue alternating from side to side. Nice and open through the chest, open through the heart space. And we'll take a few more here. Take this at your own pace. And then bring yourself back up to stand. One more time, inhale your arms up, maybe take a little back bend. And on your exhale, bend your knees, forward fold, come down and through. For this next exercise, you'll need to find a wall or something that you can put your leg up against. This is a very deep hip opener and also good for your quad. Step your left foot forward and try to bring your right shin, the front of your right shin against the wall. So you kind of have to adjust your feet here, maybe bringing your left foot a little closer in towards your body. And then take a few moments just in this bent over position. So you've got your right shin against the wall back behind you. We're going to gradually bring this up. So start by bringing your hands to rest on your front knee and sit up nice and tall. So this may feel pretty intense, and if it is, just breathe into this opening all along your right quad, your right hip flexor. Option to stay here, or option to reach your arms out or reach your arms up. I conveniently have a bar, but even if you just have a wall, you can reach your arms out and open to the wall. Just allow the chest to open a little more. Option to stay here, or a final option, is to slide your front heel out in front of you. So you're coming into a version of a split. This is pretty intense. It's a lot on the hamstring, the front hamstring, and then also still getting that nice opening into the right hip flexor and right quad. In whichever posture you've chosen, just stay and breathe here. One more big breath, and then slowly bring yourself up and out of this. It's a little challenging. You can bring your arms off to the side and then release your right leg. And we will move that to the opposite side. So now bring your left shin so it's resting on your wall. Step your right foot so it comes in front of you, and then pause just for a moment in this kind of hung over position. Let your head be heavy. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades. Nice big breath in and out. Just kind of setting this up on our second side, starting to feel that opening into the front of your left quad. And then we'll gradually move things up. So bring your hands so they come to rest on your front right thigh. And then just pause there. Notice any tension you may be feeling in your shoulders. Try to release that. Maybe find a little bit of movement into your shoulders. Option to stay here, or maybe you use the wall behind you. You can lean your upper body back just a little bit further. You can open wide through your arms. Take big breaths into the front of your left hip flexor. Option to stay right here, or option to start to slide your right foot out in front of you. So you're coming into a variation of a split. If you're taking this variation, it can feel very intense into your right hamstring and into your left quad and hip flexor. Just breathe here, take big breaths in and full big breaths out. Whichever variation you're in, take a few more moments of breath, feeling that nice openness into the front of your left leg. And then we'll slowly come out of this. Bring your hands off to the left side and bring your foot off the wall. Take a second to move your mat away from the wall if needed, and then come all the way down to lie on your back. Bring your arms back long behind you. We're going to move into a bridge position. Push your hips up. Make sure that your knees are not touching each other, but you've got a little bit of distance there and you feel that length and openness into the front of your hips. And this is meant less to be about activation and more about openness in the front of your body. Push down into your feet and breathe into the spaces in the front of your hips. Take big full breaths in and full breaths out. And take a few more big breaths here and slowly lower your hips down to the mat. Stretch your legs long and heavy in front of you. Bring your arms down by your side, or you can bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. And just allow yourself to breathe here. Feel the openness in the front of your body. And take these final few moments just to come back into your breath. Notice any difference or shifts you may feel. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.